I knew nothing. I came into this just like a lot of people. I was looking to maybe sell on Amazon and go that direction, and it's made more sense what you were talking about, just starting from scratch and kind of reverse engineering it seemed to make more sense to me.
Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Rock Your Brand podcast. I'm your host, Scott Voelker, a serial entrepreneur on a mission to help you. This show is designed to teach you, to inspire you, to motivate you to take massive action and build a future-proof business. So, whether you're just starting out or taking your existing business to the next level, this is your home. Now, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's rock your brand. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Rock Your Brand podcast. This is episode 927, and today I am fired up because if you're listening to this before 2021, well, we are going to be kicking off the new year here with a bang. And I just did an episode, literally just the last episode, and talked about my predictions for 2021 and the opportunities that we can take advantage of for growing our brands in 2021. So if you missed that episode, I would encourage you to go back and listen to that. But today, what I decided to do was really give you a recording from a coaching call that I did with one of our Brand Creators Academy members. And we just unpacked a recent promotion that he did. Now, let me just give you a little backstory. His name is Matt, and he's been in for just about a year, I believe. And, started from scratch. He's actually a paid fireman full-time. And he does this on the side, looking to build his brand. And I think he's got like 9 more years as a paid fireman. I think that's the number. But he wants to build a brand. And it's a great market, a great niche that he's in. And he started from scratch. So what I wanted to do, though, because he's grown so much since he's joined, and he's built a website from scratch, never knew how to really, even do any blogging. And now he's producing content on a regular basis. He's getting steady traffic. He's built an email list of just about 3,000 email subscribers. He's really done everything that we've instructed him to do, and he's just done it. He's actually taken our naked email that we talk about on this podcast. I've mentioned it. Inside of our academy, we actually go through a sequence where we can survey our list and see exactly what they want and what they need. That's what he did. Then he created content. And then from there, he turned it into a digital product. Then he ran a promotion, and then he sold some. And now he's bolting it onto the back of his thank you page. I know that sounds like a lot, and it is, but he did it all within the last year. And what I wanted to do is really get him on to unpack this last promotion, okay? To really just unpack it. Now, this is actually a hot seat that is going to be put into our academy as well. So what we do inside the academy is we will do random hot seats, and we will take our members and we will dig into their business of where they are right now and where they're going in their next stage or the next step. And in this case, we just wrapped up this promotion with Matt, and now it's a matter of bolting this product onto the back end of his email list and how to create a sequence and all of that stuff. So we walk through it. So you're kind of listening in on a somewhat of a private conversation between him and I, because that's what we would have done if I didn't record it. And you're going to be able to hear us talk about what happened and what went well and maybe what didn't go so well, but also the opportunities now that this thing is built. I do want to say, though, after I recorded this, he went and did exactly what we talked about. And I am very happy to say that in the first, I think it was 2 days of turning his Facebook ads back on, because part of this is that the ads were running beforehand to build his list, then he turned them off. And then from there, he started building his product so he could sell it. Now he put that on the thank you page. And I'm very happy to say that early results are amazing. He actually has had 46 people join his email list, and also one person has purchased. Now, to put that in perspective, we're talking, if that stays true, that's 2% of a conversion, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it could make that campaign where it is a break-even campaign, meaning he's going to get his emails for free. That's really our main goal. But you're going to hear us break this all down inside of this coaching call. So again, I'm going to stop talking so you can listen. But before I do, let me just say this. I'm going to say one more thing. If you're interested in taking your brand building to the next level, if you want accountability, if you want mentorship, if you want support, if you want training, if you want detailed, simplified training, then I'll encourage you to head on over to brandcreatorsacademy.com and fill out that short little survey. And then from there, look for a private invite when we open to a small group here in the near future. All right. We are going to be doing that. And the only way that you can get access to our private group is by filling out that short little survey just to let us know where you are and where you want to go. All right. So if you're interested in joining us and joining people like Matt inside of the Academy and maybe even getting in on one of those hot seats, head on over to brandcreatorsacademy.com. All right, guys. So let's listen in. Let's listen in on this coaching call that I did with Matt. All right, Matt, I am pumped, man. We are going to unpack some pretty cool stuff that's been happening in your world. So what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Scott, I'm doing great. And yeah, we have a lot to unpack. And it was a great experience, this digital product launch. So got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Well, again, I want to give, obviously people that are in Brand Creators Academy know you, you're in there kind of posting your progress, since the beginning and everything. But the people that don't know who Matt is, that are probably listening to this on the podcast, I did want to do a hot seat kind of unpacking session to kind of, let people kind of peek in a little bit and see what we do inside the Academy. But you're a fireman, that's your day job, right?
Yep, that's the full-time job. And
How long you been a firefighter now?
Going on just about 9 years.
9 years. Nice. You look like a fireman, man. I told you, you look like my buddy Brian, who's retired now from the fire department. I told you that. So
lucky guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He says the same thing. He's actually an electrician. He was an electrician. Then he became firefighter. Then his electrician job was kind of his side gig. And now it's probably, even though he says I wasn't going to do it anymore, he's probably still doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. But I wanted to get you on here and just, I wanted to unpack this because this is really fresh. You came in, started your website, you went into a niche that you were involved in a little bit. And then from there you decided to build the email list. And then from there, start thinking about a digital product. Let's kind of walk through that process. What was that process like from the very beginning? And then let's lead up to the build of the list. And then let's talk about the digital product. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about what we're going to do next. We'll kind of do a little bit of a brainstorming session here of what we're going to do next. So
okay,
let's just talk about like the beginning of the website. What did you know about building a website before you came in here?
So I knew nothing. I came into this just like a lot of people. I was looking to maybe sell on Amazon and go that direction. And it's made more sense what you were talking about, just starting from scratch and kind of reverse engineering it seemed to make more sense to me. And I went through all my hobbies and things that I was interested in, and that's really what I came up with, finding my niche or niche, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And from there, it really started to take off, just really following your program. I started the website. I locked into that 30-day program that you guys put together, and that really helped me. I needed that day-to-day plan to follow. So to have something to follow really got me going and got the process started. So finding posts to look at and ideas to write posts about is what really started kicking off. And when I started to see that organic traffic come in, and it's still growing, it's still small right now, but it's getting to a point where it's building every month. It's like doubling, which is awesome. As I see,
have you looked at your Uber Suggest for the month? Because they just updated it, and I just looked at some of ours. How's that looking for you?
It looks great today, actually. That also went up. It looks like it's more accurate, I should say. How you say the Google Analytics is totally different than Uber Suggest? So true, because last month it was way off, and now this month is a lot more accurate, it seems like.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's funny that you say that. So I don't know if they're using different data points or different metrics now, but I noticed that as well. And I'll be sharing that in the Academy. I'll show you and everyone else there, like our numbers, because we've been kind of documenting that along the way. And actually, a little side note, Matt, I'm going to be actually revealing niche 2 pretty soon. We've got some interesting things there that we're going to be testing. We're already testing in the background. So pretty excited about that. But those numbers are actually trailing up even more than the first site, which I'm kind of blown away with because we've added less content to that site. So it's pretty interesting. But I will agree. I think the numbers are getting more accurate in Ubersuggest as far as like they're close to the organic traffic that we're seeing. So that's interesting. So yours is tailing up, obviously.
No, it's still off. It's still off, but it's not as off as it was.
Right.
But it's getting there.
Yeah. And let me ask you this too, while we're unpacking in front of everyone, because I just want to know this myself. Are you digging into some of the content that's ranking now, that's almost ranking to like maybe page one, or maybe that's on page one at the bottom? And then you're starting to look at those and going, okay, either I can use those as inspiration to build more content around that, or is that something that I could maybe massage a little bit and get up on the rankings a little bit more?
Yeah, the second one, I'm kind of going in there and trying to massage it a little bit, make it a little better, maybe add some more pictures, things like that.
Okay.
Just trying to make it a little bit more attractive.
Yeah, I think that for anyone listening to, if you do have content that's already ranking somewhat, that's a good sign. That means Google likes you, by the way. I don't care if it's like you're ranking 28th. Google is ranking you. That means that you have a good reputation with them. So that's like number one thing that you want to see, is that you have stuff that's at least ranking. But I looked at a whole bunch of mine, and man, oh man, like some of them, I mean, we've got a lot of page one now, but there's a lot of like, page one, but maybe number 9 or number 12. And it's like, those are the ones now to go, okay, maybe I still post my content, but maybe I spend a little bit of time now looking at stuff that's within striking distance and maybe giving that a little bit more love. Or, we haven't even talked about backlinking or any of that stuff. Maybe there's a play there to maybe do a little bit of backlinking, or maybe you interlink on that now. So there's some things that we can do there to really take some of the work that we've already done and kind of give it a little bit of a boost, which we'll be doing more of that inside the academy as everyone's growing and we're kind of growing our test brands here. So let's move into, and that's awesome, by the way, congratulations. And I love it that you came in like literally a year ago. I think it's been, right? It's been about a year.
Yeah, just January.
Yeah. So, you're about a year in now, just about, but I mean, obviously the first, a little bit
I didn't start my site a year ago too. For the first 2 months, I felt like I was trying to figure out where I was going to go. Cause we were looking at doing maybe, basements, finishing basements. That was,
oh, okay. So that was the hot seat I did for you as far as the niche drill down.
Yeah.
That's a good niche too, by the way. I like that.
Good niche. And I just kept thinking, it's not really something I'm always working on. It's like mountain biking, that's something I'm always doing, And I don't know why it didn't hit me right across the head. Like, let's do mountain biking, but I was trying to like niche down and figure it out like everybody.
That's a great point though, that you bring up, because if you have two to choose from and they're both kind of equally, as far as like, again, when we go through that validation process, it's like, okay, what's the future potential? Right? Like, what could we see? Like, if you see that you've been looking at multiple sites in this one niche and you're like, I'm only finding them, like the most I can see for traffic is like 70,000 on one website. So is that all that I can really shoot for? But if you find a few that have 200,000, 500,000, a million, then you're like, man, I've got a lot of room for growth. So you found kind of two of those. And then you're like, but wait a minute, one of them I'm really interested in. So if you're looking for something that you're going to not get bored with, it would be picking that one. Right. And I think that's what you did.
Yeah. And it also is more exciting too, because now I'm way more into it. I'm way more involved with something, like you say, something you're interested in makes it big.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, okay. So you go ahead and you pick your niche, you get up and running, you got organic traffic going. How many posts are you doing now generally, a week or a month?
Typically 2 a week, somewhere around 8 to 10 a month.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's been pretty consistent. Okay. So you're doing that email list. Let's talk about that. You start building the email list, and I think you started with a giveaway contest. Did you?
Yeah. So back in June, I ran my giveaway. And
okay. How did that do?
I got about 3,500 subscribers right there.
Okay.
And I got to say, a good amount of them are still on the list. It's a good list. There's a lot of good people I got off the giveaway.
Yeah.
So I had, just under 3,000 after, the initial, list and giveaway getters kind of got off the list.
Yep.
But then after that, I also did the lead magnet to build my list, like in 30 days. I only did 2 weeks. I just I just wanted to do it to, go through the process.
Sure.
And I just put a little bit of time into it, and that was awesome. That worked really well because just in 2 weeks, I think I generated like 300 plus emails.
That's great.
And those people, they just came in off my lead magnet too, so I know that.
Yeah. So then, okay, and that's awesome. So again, I want to time out here for a second because you've now came in not knowing anything as far as building any of this stuff, and here you are. I'm going to build a website. So you got to get hosting, you got to get a web domain, all of that stuff. You got to set that up. You got to create your first blog post. You put your first post up. Then now you're doing 2 a week consistently. Yeah. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to build a list. Then you build a list with the giveaway. Then you're like, well, they're talking about doing this lead magnet. Maybe I'll try that too. You did that. There's all of these skills that you're building along the way that you can kind of repurpose and kind of keep doing and really expand on, which I think is awesome. Let's talk about that email list because we also have seen just mixed results from people that have done giveaways. And I think it's just market or targeting. Your list seems pretty good for being a giveaway list. I know ours was okay in the beginning and then it started to peter out a little bit. I know Octavio had not that great of results he had great results with the giveaway, just the people on the list were not that great. They weren't that great of quality. Talk about your open rates real quick on that list. Kind of like now that it's kind of been up and running and not that it's like new, because a lot of times your list is new, you're going to get higher open rates,
Yeah. So I feel like I'm averaging out between my initial email and my sending to my unopens. It's been around 24 to 25%.
It's beautiful.
The last few weeks have been a little strange. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but before that, it's been like 2-3 months straight of somewhere around 25% for both the open rates.
And you're emailing how many times a week? Was it once a week, twice a week?
Yeah, I do once a week. I usually do like a Tuesday and then unopened on a Thursday.
Okay. So again, I want to highlight that for people. So if you guys are new, you're listening, you're watching, whatever, the unopens is a critical piece that if you miss that, I'm telling you're going to miss out on 6, 7, even sometimes 10% more on those opens. It's a big one. I know that's kind of like standard practice for us inside the academy. And so I just want to kind of make sure that if you are not doing that, make sure you do. So now let's talk about how this whole idea for creating the digital product came to be, right? Like, where did it come? I know we kind of like brought it to the surface, but like, how did you get the idea of what you were going to create for your digital product? So I think I know the answer, but I kind of want to throw it out there to you. How did you come up with the idea to create this thing?
So it's something that I would be interested in. As a biker.
Yeah.
And, I knew people would want it just because of knowing the niche that I'm in.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of came about. And then I started pretty much putting together the posts that I was doing. I was focusing a lot on maintenance. And I know it's a popular topic. So when I started putting these posts together, I was like, you know what? Look at the playbook that you did. It's the same idea. And pretty much just put together 7 posts that I've already completed and, edited and turned it into a nice guide.
Yeah. And again, that's one of the strategies we talk about inside of the digital product creation fast track workshop is like how to pre-plan your content. You're getting ranked for some of that content organically, naturally, and then you can compile that, turn it into a digital guide. Obviously you might need to tweak it. You might need to enhance it, whatever, but you have the foundation of it built now. Talk about the naked email though. You sent out an email to your list and you asked them, right? Like you asked them a very basic question and you got some feedback from that. What was that like? And kind of what was the whole thing behind that?
Back up a little bit. So I mean, like I said,
I was trying to lead you into that, Matt, but you missed that part.
I knew people would be interested in it, but yeah, first things first, I did email my list and I did get a great response. I had almost 50 people respond to me.
Yeah.
And, I didn't give them any incentive to respond to me too. I just threw it out there, and still got 50 people that really enjoyed the email. They were happy to get back to me, and they gave me great ideas. Literally, I probably had a lot of them were duplicates, like same ideas, but I probably had like 30 to 40 pieces of content that I could do just off the email that they sent me. And on top of it, I did my keyword research with some of the ideas that they gave me, but. The naked email was just asking them, what they would like, what would they be interested in?
Yeah. And the cool thing is like you said, a lot of them were like the same, and it's like, ooh, key, like, okay, they're all the same. That means that people want this thing. So why guess what they want? Why not get? And I think what they were saying that they wanted was more on maintenance, right? They wanted more maintenance stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I was the duplicate ones, and
yeah,
that's what turned it into, that's what turned it into the guide that it is.
Yeah. Okay. So awesome. So now you've done the naked email, and anyone that's listening, it's not a picture of Matt naked on a bike. It's actually a email that just asks an open-ended question. So there's no links, there's no images. It's a very light email, nothing in it. So that's why we call it the naked email. Plus, it sounds kind of cool and shocking, and people are like, "What the heck is a naked email?"
Open rate on that too.
Was a good open rate. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, really good. I think it was over 30%.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you get those replies back, which is really, really good. The other thing that this does that people don't realize is when you do that and you open up that communication line and then you actually message people back, even if it's like, hey, thanks for the response, you're now creating that two-way back and forth that then the email provider looks at like, oh, they want to get stuff from Matt. So we'll let that get through the spam trap, or we'll let that get through the promotions tab and send it to their inbox. So it's important that you do send these emails just to get feedback, but also to get those signals being sent back to your email provider or their email provider to let you know that, hey, Matt's a safe person to send to the inbox. That's something else that we want to do on a regular basis. So you get this thing created. The crazy thing is too, is like the next 7 emails that you sent out was basically every blog post that was going to be in the guide, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you get all done with that, right? And then you're like, now I'm going to sell them the 7 posts that just were out there in a guide, and I'm going to charge them. I think your selling price is what, 15 or 20 bucks. And you're like, I'm going to give them 75% off. So we're going to charge $5, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And so most people, Matt, and maybe you even thought this in the beginning, like, who's going to pay for free content that's on my blog, on my website? Who's going to pay for that? Right? The thing is people want it in a nice, compact little guide or a book or something they can print or something they can download or something they can put on their phone. They want that. And they're willing to pay for that download, even though, yes, they could go and see it on your website. So was that ever a thought for you, or, like why would someone want this? Or were you
Absolutely.
In the beginning?
I definitely thought that. And I was just going through the process. I was like, let me see what happens. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. So, okay. So then I remember you and I got on a call, and I said, all right, Matt, before you go through this launch of your guide, we had no idea what to expect, and again, some would think, well, everyone's just gotten all 7 emails with all 7 blog posts. There's not going to be anybody that's going to buy this thing. So we're like, you know what? Let's test it. Let's run a little promotion through it. So let's walk through that promotion, because actually that recording of that time that you and I had, that is one of our hot seats, which I'm not sure if we posted that in BCA yet, but we will. But that was just you and I kind of brainstorming, talking promotions, email, and then you actually ended up sending that out and then went through the promotion. So let's lead up to that. What did that look like as far as the very first email that you were going to send out to your list?
So the first one was like the week before, and I just gave them a heads up that, hey, something cool is coming, and we put together a mountain bike maintenance guide. I told them what it is. Mm-hmm. And I actually got a couple of replies back off that email saying, oh, cool, looking forward to it. Nice. Which was exciting to see. I was like, yeah, really? Okay. Yeah. This is great. Yeah. So that was the first email, just to kind of get my list prepared, that I do have something that I put together, and take a look at it.
Yeah, yeah. And so what was your expectations? Like, what was a success for you after like this was all over in your head? If you could sell how many, would this be a success?
So in my head, I wanted to set it pretty low. So I was thinking maybe I'll sell 5, and I would be happy. I was like, all right, maybe I'll sell 5.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe that's low, but I want to be realistic. And we launched it on Monday, and in the first 3 hours, I ended up seeing 9 sold.
9 sold in 3 hours.
I was like, that's pretty cool. That happened quick.
Now,
So
did
it
you get the
doubled when
notification in your email? Did you get any notifications in your email that you had sales coming in, or did you have to go in and refresh?
I had to go in and refresh.
Okay. And I forget, did you sell this through ConvertKit Commerce?
Yep.
You did. Okay. Okay. That's right. That's right. Because we did a mock-up page and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, really easy. Really
Super easy. Yeah. Okay. And so you get 9 sales. What are you thinking at that point?
I'm kind of blown away at that point because it's in the first 3 hours, and I was like, I was wondering what's going to happen next, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And not much happened after that first 9. Like that was pretty much done for the day.
Okay.
And then I sent to the reopens, the unopens the next day.
Yep.
And I didn't really have much going on either that day.
Okay.
So then we sent another email, a fresh email on
Yep.
Wednesday, and we had another 7 that I sold right off the bat.
Nice.
And that was, I was spread out throughout the day.
Okay.
Again, I was
Okay.
like, wow, another 7?
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. So now I'm, again, my expectations are kind of blown away.
And what, we had this set up for 5-day promotion?
Yep, Monday through Friday.
Okay, cool. Okay. So that's on Wednesday. You sent to the unopens. Anything from the unopens on that one?
Yeah, I think I got 1 more off the unopens.
Okay.
Maybe 2.
Okay. And now also, I want to time out here for a second. Like, you're sending a lot of emails, man, in a week. How does this feel? Are you a little nervous about sending those emails, or are you just like, okay? Because, I mean, you're used to sending like 1 email, right?
Yeah, I'm used to sending 1. And after doing this, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should send 2.
Yeah, you should.
If they don't want to be on my list,
Right.
all right, that's fine
Right.
with me. I can get more
Right.
people on.
Right, right. So, okay, so you send out the email. Now we're heading into the last day, the deadline, right? The deadline, all caps, right? Like this is that deadline email. Now, I forget, did you end up sending 2 emails on this day?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
we had
did.
2 more. So
Yep.
again, sent that last email, saying this is the deadline, last day to grab it. And again, another 7.
Another 7.
So
Okay.
right off that day, right off that initial deadline email.
So now you sent that out in the morning, I'm assuming, right?
Yep. Right around 8 a.m. somewhere around.
Okay, 8 a.m. Eastern. And then from there, when was your next one? Because you were going to end your sale, I think, at 9 or 10 at night, right?
Yeah, I did 9 o'clock.
Okay, you did 9 o'clock. So when was your next in your final email?
Final email was at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Okay, so you send out that email. What happens to that one?
So right off that, another 4.
Another 4.
Another 4 sold.
So
And those kind
technically
of
the
came
first.
in, though, a couple of them right away, and then a couple more kind of came maybe even a little after now.
Okay. Okay. So
Which
what
I was-
happened there? Did you forget to go raise your price?
I guess so. I didn't know. I wanted to see what would happen. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to raise my price or not.
Yeah.
Wasn't really familiar with what to do. But
Yeah.
I kinda just let it
Okay.
rock.
I missed out. I missed that detail then. Yeah. What you need to do there, because you don't have like what we call a deadline funnel, is where you basically, it'll automatically raise the price and go to the regular price of what it's going to sell for. And then or it could redirect them to a new page. But because there's no high tech stuff involved here, because we wanted to keep this thing as clean and light as possible, the only thing you were going to do is just basically, you could go to that page at the very top of your title, just say, sorry, sale ended, brackets, and then just, basically put regular price now. And that's it. And you're kind of done. That way, when people get there, they know that it's expired, right? And then they had that price. Not a big deal, but I'm just saying that's the way that you would have kind of duct taped that part together, because if you're not going to use, yeah, which isn't a big deal. But I mean, the tech side of things here is so clean because, I mean, ConvertKit, that's where you built your email list. ConvertKit's where you built your landing page for your lead magnets and your thank you page. And ConvertKit was, the place where you sold now, because they just opened this up to everyone. So it's really awesome that you're utilizing that. It's just super simple to do. So what was the final total on that little sale?
So there actually was another one sold like the next day. I think somebody
Okay.
came in and bought it too. So the total was 29.
Okay, nice.
And a few people I knew
Okay,
bought it, so not organic. One of them
Okay.
was my wife.
nice.
I was like, she tried to sneak in. She's like, I wanted to help you.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, it doesn't.
Oh,
All right, well, thank you.
yeah.
But
That's
so,
awesome.
26 organic, three
Yep.
people I think that I knew.
Okay. Well, let's call it 26. I think that's fantastic. What were you thinking? Oh, the dust is settled. You're now thinking, you're looking at that. And again, I know it's not like hundreds or thousands of dollars, but this is a pivotal moment, pivotal moment, if I can say that word, to a lot of people, because this is like this is where it's like, holy crap, like someone just paid me from the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. You always hear too is I remember when I made my first $5. You hear that from,
Absolutely.
guys like yourself and a lot of people that are, in the industry. And I was saying to myself, I made my first $5.
Yes.
There's more than
Yes.
that.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. And the cool thing is like, there's really no cost that you needed to fulfill that. People got their stuff, right? There's no cost other than ConvertKit that you're paying for, but that's your email list provider. That's now your merchant account. So yes, you had to pay a percentage on the $5. I believe they take like 2 or 3% for whatever the merchant fee is. But really, really low cost of goods, right? Did you have anybody email you with any kickback at all?
I had one guy email me back and got me a little nervous for a minute with some of the words and things he was saying.
Yeah.
And he was right to a point. And he was saying, like, why wouldn't people go to YouTube and watch some of these maintenance issues be done on YouTube?
Yeah.
And, and I wrote him back and I was like, you're absolutely right. And, sometimes I do that myself. And I was like, the point of this was to have a guide that you can have on your phone and kind of pull up if you're in the woods or something.
Yep. Good answer.
You could do that on YouTube too, but it was as simple as, this was to have a guide. That was pretty much it.
Yep. No, and I think that's fine. You're always going to get that. I mean, I have people still to this day. They're like, why would someone buy your course or come into your academy if they can just go to your podcast and sift through and find the information, or why they can go to YouTube or they can go there? Because I'm saving them time, right? I'm saving them time to have to go search this up. It's right here in a compact little guide, right? Or it's in this thing, so it's convenience. But you're going to get that. That isn't terrible. You get some people that are going to hammer you, they're going to hammer you good. Because you had so many emails in like a short period of time. Right. Did you get anybody with that? Anything like, hey, that's enough. That's a little too much email.
No. I didn't get one.
How was your unsubscribes?
You know what? Let me take a look. It wasn't as too high. I want to say it was maybe like 20, 30 people total.
Oh, perfect. People were never going to buy anyway.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there, somewhere around 20, 30.
And that's to be expected. I mean, I would have thought probably a little bit higher, because I mean, if you want to really shake the list a little bit, kind of get the dust to settle out of the list, you can definitely do more of this. And then from there, you're going to get the people that just do not want to hear from you anymore. And that's fine. Like, they just helped you clean your list, right?
Yeah. And I also just did the cold subscribers. Mm-hmm. And I just sent them that sequence that Chris put together.
Oh, good.
So
good.
Just to get rid of, I think I had like 700 people that were cold.
Okay. Good. Yeah. No, just run them through that sequence, and that'll shake it out. And then once people touch that from the 700, now they're moved into your warm audience.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I got a few people already.
Yeah, that's great.
% so far.
Now, did you have any deliverability issues with people getting the download?
Not that I've heard.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. Usually you're going to have 1 or 2 people that go, I didn't get the email with my download, or, whatever. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So congrats on that.
Yeah, I would say I don't think I've had any issues with ConvertKit at all. Even with like my lead magnet, things like that.
That's awesome. That's great. That's awesome to hear. Okay. So now now that we've unpacked everything, that's got to feel good. Right. And now you've got this digital asset that you can sell that's going to be on your website, right? That you're going to be able to offer, or you can put it in your super signature in your emails. Like, you have this thing now that is available for sale, which is great. Yeah.
And that's what I'm putting together now. Where am I going to put this thing? On my site and, on the back end of my lead magnet after they sign up.
On the thank you page.
A discount, something along those lines. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so here's what I would do. Okay. So the very first thing that you will need to do is put that on your thank you page now. So the minute that they go ahead and they sign up for the lead magnet, which is a checklist, right? I believe you went with the checklist for your mountain bike. The natural thing is like, well, get our maintenance guide, right? So the immediate thing is like, check your inbox. We just sent you the checklist. We wanted to give, you a special discount for being one of our newest subscribers. Get, 50% off our mountain bike maintenance guide, $10, regular price, $20. Like, that's it. Like that, like you haven't done that yet, right?
Nope.
Okay. That's the assignment. You need to do that. Like that's next. Then what I would love for you to do is go back to those ads that we're converting and turn them babies back on just for a little test, right? Start driving some Facebook ads over to your lead magnet again, and then go, am I converting any of these to sales?
Yes.
Because now if we are, guess what we've just done? We've just created a way to get leads for free, right? If people buy that book, even if, 1 out of 20 bought it, it's probably going to pay for your emails.
Absolutely.
So the very first thing that your homework assignment is to get that set up. And again, if you need help with that, just post whatever you're, needing help on in BCA and we'll walk you through that, but it's pretty straightforward. And I mean, literally you could probably even do it with your ConvertKit page. Now here's something else that you might want to do. Because you are going to have different prices, go into ConvertKit, create a duplicate page of your sales page of your checkout, and then create a page that is only for your thank you page. Okay. So that'll have the discount. Then you'll have a regular price one over here that will be for maybe your website or anywhere else that you want it. So let's say it sells for $20 or let's say it sells for 15, whatever you're going to retail it for. You put it there. Even if you wanted it on your website, say regular price 20, we're going to give you 25% off or whatever, that's fine. But the email thank you has got to be like a crazy good offer. Again, even if you wanted to test it with 75% off and only charge 5 or maybe 50% off and charge 10, whatever it is, but you want to get that like built immediately. And like I said, if you have a page on your website, that's your thank you page, and you just want to take this and embed it on the page, you can do that. Or you can just take that thank you page or the sales page inside a ConvertKit, and then just in your title, you would say, thanks for, we just sent you your checklist in your inbox, should be receiving it shortly. And then below that would be the normal copy of the special offer. But if you could do it on your page, it would give you a little bit more flexibility. But if you do it on a page on your website, we're going to want to make sure that we don't have any nav. We don't want a nav bar. We don't want sidebar. We don't want any other distractions on that page.
Simple. Something simple.
Something just the only thing that they can do is read that the checklist has been sent to them and thank you. And then, because you're one of our newest subscribers in our, mountain biking community, I wanted to give you this for a huge discount. 75% off for the next, 3 days or something like that. And that's it. And you're done. I would do that immediately. And then as soon as you get that up and running, then we go back to the ad that was converting well with your lead magnet. We just, we turn it back on.
A couple clicks of a button.
Yeah, literally. And so how is that lead magnet converting? Give us some numbers on that real quick. How was that converting with the Facebook ad traffic?
So it was up towards, I would say 35%.
Beautiful.
It was a little higher than that, then it went a little lower, and
that'll happen.
Like 33%, I want to say.
Okay. I mean, anything above 25, we love that. So 33, let's call it 30. Let's even just call it 30%. What was it costing you per email? Do you remember?
Well, there was different ads, different costs, but it was 40 cents.
Okay. So let's go with 40 cents. Yeah. So 40 cents an email. So basically, let's see here, 40 cents. Let's just make this easy. Let's see, 10 would be 4, 20 would be 8. So let's just say if we could get 20 people to that, to opt in would cost you $8. Can we convert one of them to a a guide buyer for $10. You just made $2 if that's the case, and you got free leads.
Yeah.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
So the only thing you're changing is on the back end of the offer. That's why we always want to get that lead magnet converting at least 25% or more. Then we can bolt everything on the back. No one's going to see the stuff on the back unless they opt in. So that's why we want to get that, we want to get that. And then the other thing you might want to do in the future is maybe test a little bit more on the landing page to get that above 33%, try to get it up to 40, 50%. I think Octavio was converting it over 50, 60% at one point. If you're getting those numbers, now let's see if we can bolt something on the back of those, because now we're getting more eyeballs for the same cost over there. Because if you had that high of a conversion rate, your cost per email would probably went to 30 cents. Right?
Yeah, I could definitely change up like the pictures and the images.
Absolutely.
I can probably do a video too, which I didn't do.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But I think already, on the simplest level, it's doing great, right? You have something to work with now. And I tell this to people all the time. Like, if we get you in motion, if we get these things started and built, we can play. Now we can play the game right now. But if you don't have these pieces, we can't play. Like, you didn't have the digital product until a month ago, let's say 3 weeks, a month ago, but now you do, right? So now we bolt that on the back end of a lead magnet that's already converting at 33 to 35%. So now let's plug that in and see what happens. Right. And so we can do this stuff. And then once we do this, now we can scale that, because think about that. If you get that to convert to where you're not paying for leads anymore, it's free. You're basically putting in $1 and getting $1 back, even if that's all you did. We can scale that to maybe you're getting 100 emails a day for free. What would happen if you had 100 emails a day coming in? That's 3,000 new people a month. And then you run them through that same sequence that you did for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And now that's a built-in deadline sequence that everyone's going to get that comes in. That's how exciting it gets.
Yeah, it could be big. I'm thinking, my mind is going all over it. My next digital product, I already have another idea in mind.
Right.
Like you're saying, I could put this in so many different places, I feel like. And it's just, I got to do it. I just got to do it.
So, okay. So let's figure out what is your next move. So what's your next move moving forward? And then we can discuss that. And then from there, we can wrap this up. So where's your next move? And is there anything that you need to ask me for feedback or anything directly right now before you set off and go do it?
No, I'm going to probably have some questions. I got to play around with it, just adding it into the thank you page and things like that we just talked about. So I think that's the first move right there is getting that all situated, and then doing the ads. I think that's going to be. I think I'm just going to focus specifically on that.
I like that
set up.
Okay.
In the background though, I'm also thinking about another digital product.
Okay.
Something that for my niche, I'm thinking of something maybe more for beginners too. To maybe attract more of a beginner mountain biker too, which could be good for my list. Good for
yeah. I like that. I do like that. And then as far as your content, that's just happening kind of like normally now, right? You're doing 2 posts a week. You're still emailing the list at least once a week. Okay.
Yeah, everything else is pretty routine at this point. So it's been very simple. The content, searching for new ideas, and routine. And I have my writers in place, so they've been doing pretty good for me, so I can't complain on that end.
And so kind of walk me through though, because you're a full-time firefighter. You have a family, beautiful family. You posted a picture on Facebook. I said I seen it. Great looking family. Awesome. So how do you balance this with a full-time job, a husband, a father, and someone that probably does some stuff around the house to keep the house up? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're a busy guy like everyone else. How do you carve out some time to work on this?
It's a lot. And, I'm thankful a lot of times, being a fireman, we have, our training schedule is going to be all day, where I usually don't get to mess around, but, the night is ours at the firehouse. And that's where I get a lot of my time, is at the firehouse, between, if we have a call, we're on a call, but when we get back, I might get 2 hours to work on. And that's a solid 2 hours that I can do that. When I'm home, it's tough. I do it at night mostly, when the kids go to bed. And, as long as my wife doesn't want to watch a movie or anything, I'll get some time to kind of put something together and at least focus on it, because I found that, I need a solid like 2 hours, I feel like, to make something productive. If I only get 20 minutes, I'm not getting it done.
And do you kind of map out a little bit of like what you're going to do in that 2 hours? Because I think sometimes people get stuck in like, well, I got 100 things I could do. What am I going to do? Do you kind of try to think about like, what's that next little project you're going to tackle?
Yeah, absolutely. So jotting down like every week what my plan is. My schedule is crazy, so I can't really be too consistent with certain things.
Yeah.
Emailing, I'm consistent. But some things, it depends on my schedule. But for the most part, I have a list that I follow, and next time I'm free, I pretty much tackle whatever's on.
Nice. I love it.
And that's the way.
Yeah. It's not easy, and I mean, even for me, it's like I'm always kind of trying to, finagle certain things. But the one thing I will say is like, I just kind of build everything around my, my family events or the commitments that I have there. I don't have a job technically. You know what I mean? This is my job. So, but still with that, I mean, it's kind of the opposite where I could work on this every day, all day to the middle of the night if I wanted to, so there's this, you have to have discipline on both sides of it, when to stop, when to start, when to commit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause the opportunities are just everywhere. Like we can continually push, but I love it because you've been so focused. And you can just tell because of the progress. And now you're starting to see the benefits of what you've been doing. And on the other side of things is you just keep producing that content, that organic starts going up, and we turn on an ad network. Now all of a sudden you start getting this recurring revenue coming in that you're not selling a product, but yet you've got emails coming in, and then you're going to bolt the digital products on the back end of that. So you have all of this opportunity coming in that will start to pay off as long as we keep doing what we're doing,
Yeah. And that's what keeps me, excited about it, because it's like I'm spending money, but I know I got to spend some money to eventually one day make some money.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to make some money, I guess you say. But I see what this could become. That's what really gets me excited. I know that this will turn into something.
Absolutely.
Hopefully something big, but I always want to keep this site going, keep it bringing in revenue at some point too.
Yeah. And the cool thing is like, and I was just having this conversation the other day, who knows? This might be something you're going to build right now that's teaching you everything that's going to lead you to the next thing. This might run for 3 to 5 years, and then you're going to cash out, and then you're going to sell this thing. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? You don't know, So I always like to keep the doors open for that, but also be thinking about that, because you just never know. And you don't ever want to rule that out, because I mean, hey, you could build this thing and then all of a sudden, you can say, well, I can maybe get $500,000 for this thing. Maybe I'll go ahead and sell that thing, start something else.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And it's totally realistic. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, when you're around this, this online business world, I mean, it's commonplace, honestly. And honestly, like the smaller sites are selling faster. I mean, I could see sites right now that are only generating $300 to $500 a month. And let's say it was generating $500 a month. That's at 5, we'll call that $6,000 for the year. You're talking that site could sell for anywhere between $18,000 and like $24,000 just from producing $500 a month in income. So doesn't sound like a lot, but you build something up in a year on the side. And if you had 3 or 4 of these going, and then you want to sell one off, or if you want to ride one out, you can, but those things are selling fast. And cash offers, like people are just like, oh, okay, I mean, even up to $100,000, they're going quick. They're going really quick.
I believe it, because it's like I'm putting in all the hard work right now. I'm really putting in a lot of time, a lot of work. And, so for somebody to just come in and buy it, I mean, it saves them a lot of time.
A lot of time. Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. And you're learning, man. I mean, what's the education worth, right? Like, it's like people don't put a value on that. Like if you went to college for marketing, you haven't really practiced marketing. You didn't really test things. Like, no, you didn't run a Facebook ad yet. Look at everything that you've done up to this point. What is that education worth?
Couple semesters.
Yeah. Couple semesters for sure. Right. And I know right now I got a kid in college. I know what semesters cost. It ain't cheap, So, and then to walk away with something that you could have as a tangible asset, it's huge. So, All right, Matt, anything else before we wrap up here that we need to dig into, or are we good to go? Are you ready to get out there and rock it?
I think I'm ready to get out there and rock it, Scott.
All right. Well, hey man, thank you so much for sharing. And we're going to have you back. We'll have you inside BCA. We'll do another hot seat, of course, because the thing is I love doing with you and a lot of the others is when you're taking action, there's things that we can hop back on, kind of unpack and kind of see, like what's working, what's not working, what should we do next? And I think it's just a natural thing once you start to see results to want to, okay, well, now we're going to start to bolt these things on. And that's why when you get into that growth phase, you can continually build the same areas just a little bit further, right? Like you can come back to list building. You can do more of that. You can come back into the monetization. We can add another revenue stream. We can start hiring people, when, you can afford it, so there's all different things that we can do as we get in that growth phase, but it's always exciting for me to be able to talk with you and all of our Academy members that are doing stuff because now we get to actually play in the game. It's like we get to run those plays, and see what happens. So dude, man, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for allowing me to record this and share it with the podcast as well. We're also going to share this obviously in BCA, but thank you so much, man. And anything you want to say to anyone out there that's just kicking the tires and thinking about maybe getting started here?
It's just give it a shot. It's a lot easier than you think just to get this all going. It's just taking a few minutes and putting it together. You can make it happen.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, hey, keep fighting those fires. Keep saving the world, man. And stay safe.
You got it. You too. All right, everyone else, be safe out there.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, Scott.
All right. So I could go on for days on what we can do. And that's why I kind of have to stop myself when I'm talking to people like Matt and some of our members, because there's a lot of things we can do. But what we need to do is what is the next logical step? And that's exactly what Matt did there. Now, you may want to go back and listen to that one a little bit more. There was a lot of things there that we unpacked. But just understand this. It's one thing at a time. And every single thing that we do strategically is to build on the last thing. So just an example, just to kind of give you a quick little recap, right? Matt didn't have a website, created a website, started creating content, did that consistently for at least 6 months. Okay. Now you don't have to wait that long before you build your email list and before you start building your digital product, but that's what he did. Okay. For him, that's what worked. Then from there, built his email list and started to ask his email list what they wanted help with. They ended up telling him. He started creating content and posting it on his website, something else that we teach inside of the Academy. Then from there, he bundled it up, put it into an ebook, and offered it for sale to his list. I think 26 or 27 people purchased it, okay, within 4 days. And then from there, now he's bolting it on to the back end of his email follow-up, all right? And that's what we're working on right now. But everything builds on each other. So no matter if you ever join us or not inside the Academy, I want you to take that same advice and apply it to your business. Simplify each and every step, chunk it down, and take one step at a time. All right, guys, again, if you want to join us inside the Academy, it is a private community, a very safe community, by the way. We are open, transparent, always sharing, always helping. But if you want mentorship, monthly calls where you get to jump on with myself and Chris Schaefer, if you want to hang out with people like Matt and you want to really ask for advice on your current situation, or if you just want step-by-step plans to follow, we have that all inside. I would encourage you to head on over to brandcreatorsacademy.com and just fill out that short little survey to let us know that you're interested, and also to let us know a little bit more about where you are and where you want to go, some of your goals. And then from there, we will be in touch, and who knows, maybe with one of those private invites. All right. So that's it, guys. That's going to wrap up this episode. As always, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I am rooting for you. But you have to, come on, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, take action. Have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you right back here on the next episode.